I wanted to make this last story about a guy named Ron Shurer. Let me put 7 minutes on the clock. So Ron Shurer, the headline reads, "An unprecedented man, Medal of Honor recipient Ron Shurer laid to rest at Arlington." So Ron was a Green Beret, and he unfortunately died of lung cancer. Excuse me. So he died after a relatively long battle with lung cancer after his Army service was over, and he was awarded the Medal of Honor. And I believe, I'm trying to review the article here, I believe he was shot during his service in the chest, and he eventually developed lung cancer, and I think it was related to the injury. So he then became an advocate for military healthcare improvements, because he went to the hospital multiple times complaining of not being able to breathe, horrible pain, and he was diagnosed with pneumonia. He was sent home. He was just told he was okay. And the whole time it was cancer, and they didn't catch it until it was already serious stage 4 cancer. And that's heartbreaking. And how often do we hear about that? Like, I've known people in the Navy who they missed cancer. Like the doctors missed cancer. Not only is that really hard to deal with when you think about how all the doctor would have to do was order some images, order an MRI, order a CT scan, order an X-ray, and they might have caught this, just to give him a little bit more of a look when he goes into the hospital saying he can't breathe, you know? And maybe he would have had a fighting chance. So he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions in the Battle of Shok Valley in Afghanistan, in Nuristan. So that was April 2008. So he was, there's a bunch of high-profile Medal of Honor winners, but there's also a bunch of lesser-known Medal of Honor winners. Ron Shurer is one of those, I believe. And this was not his last battle that he was in. I think he did multiple deployments after this, as well as finished this deployment. So let's see. So exposed himself to enemy fire to tend to the wounded, lowering several down a cliffside while shielding them from his own body. At one point, an enemy round passed through his helmet and lodged in his arm. He continued to lead troops and in place security elements until it was time to move to the evacuation landing zone for the helicopter. So in 2009, so maybe did not do more deployments after this. I think he did deployments prior to that then. So Shurer left the Army and joined the Secret Service. Even after he was diagnosed with cancer in 2017, he continued to support the White House while undergoing treatments. So it's heartbreaking to see someone who dedicated so much time to service, so much time away from their family, away from their friends, making personal sacrifices. And then when they finally are out of the military, they die of cancer at 41 years old. It's really hard to grapple with that. You just imagine that when you imagine what your later life's going to look like. You imagine what retirement's going to look like. You think, I just got to tough this out for a few more years, and then I'm going to have all this time with my family and doing other things that I wanted to do, but I'll just go on this next deployment. I'll just re-enlist one more time. I got to get that retirement. I'd like to get promoted and get my high 3. And then you don't think about exposure, burn pits, chemicals, metals, injuries, and you make it through all of that. And then you're promised TRICARE, VA healthcare, and you go to them, right? You've done your job. And then you go to them and they send you home. You're complaining of you can't breathe. You're in horrible pain. And they say, it sounds like you have pneumonia. We'll send you home. And you have cancer. And it spreads. and then you die. But even up to the point that you pass, you advocate for the betterment of the system so that this doesn't happen to somebody else. It's unbelievable. It's another example of courage and selflessness and altruism and bravery when facing mortality, not just in combat, but in disease, in old age, whatever it is. And it's I'm really sad to see. I was sad to hear that he died, and he's been buried in Arlington National Cemetery, where he probably deserves to be. If that's obviously what he wanted, because when you serve, you get to choose if you want to be buried in a national cemetery, and that's what he wanted. So that's where he belongs, and he'll be honored there for the rest of time. And I wanted to talk about that. Sorry to make that the last story on kind of a sad note, but I think that what I think want to kind of send the message of advocate for your own personal health, right? If you're a veteran, you've already made these major sacrifices, and you've given so much, but how much do they get? You give so much. How much do they get? If they want to send you home and just say, yeah, you're probably fine. No, check me out. Give me an honest look. I don't feel well. This is not how I'm supposed to feel. Because you can give so much, but how much does the Army get? How much does the Navy get? How much does the Marine Corps get? Do they get it all?